In this video, Simon Sinek talks about before assuming that someone is the issue, leaders must take the time to learn about their potential issues.
We all carry a narrative. Someone's lazy. Someone's stupid. Someone doesn't care. Someone's only in it for themselves. These are narratives that we carry. And the problem is when we evaluate their behavior through our narrative, it'll become self-reinforcing. We will see the things that reinforce our narrative. And the problem is then we'll treat them that way. If we've decided someone's lazy, we're going to treat them as lazy. So there's a great exercise to do, which is literally take out a piece of paper, and when we're struggling with someone, to think, what are the 20 other things that could be going on in their life? So yeah, number one, they're lazy. Possible. It's absolutely possible. Number two, they're having trouble in their marriage. Number three, their things have gone wrong and they don't know how to ask for help. Number four, they're still struggling with the trauma of COVID. Number five, their kids are flunking out of school. Like all of a sudden, we realize there's a lot of other reasons that could explain their behavior, and we will then treat them accordingly. We will treat them with greater empathy. Instead of walking into someone's classroom and saying, what the hell, your performance is still down. I've had this conversation with you before. You got to get your performance up, or I don't know what's going to happen. Or you can walk into their classroom and say, your performance is down. We've had this conversation before. Are you okay? I'm worried about you. Mm-hmm. They have a problem, but they aren't necessarily the problem. And even if ultimately it does become that they're a bad fit for the culture, they are still not the problem. They still are just a bad fit for the culture. They have a problem. We can help them solve that problem by going to help them relocate to a different school district where they're going to be so much happier. We're going to be so much happier. Everybody gets to be so much happier. So the other story I was thinking of is the story of Alan Mulally. When he took over Ford, Ford was losing money hand over fist. In other words, performance was in decline. And when he sat down with his most senior executives and he asked for a report on how their divisions were going, red, yellow, green, every single one of them delivered PowerPoints with all green slides. And he said at the end of the meeting, how can everything be green if we're losing billions of dollars? And they just sat there. And he had another meeting. Same thing, all green. And he said the same thing. How can everything be green if we're losing billions of dollars? The problem was the previous leader, if you delivered a red slide, you got fired. And so there was no way that anybody was going to tell the truth because their job depended on it. And so one executive took the risk to turn one slide red. And Mulally said, thank you for the visibility. That's great transparency. Now, how can we all help him fix that problem? He has a problem. He is not the problem. All the other executives thought he was going to get fired. Turns out he wasn't. And slowly but surely, everybody, including leadership, could finally get a clear and transparent view of what was actually going on in their organization. And they worked together to solve the problems. If somebody was struggling, people said, how can we help you? Rather than, I'm fine, you're the one that's screwing everything up. So it's a great way to think about it.
Simon Sinek, a motivational speaker and author of The Infinite Game, emphasizes the value of focusing on the issue at hand rather than the individual in any given circumstance. The idea has great value and is applicable to all facets of life, not just business. Sinek contends that when we concentrate on the issue rather than the individual, we may keep a positive and productive mindset that aids in problem solving and advancement. Contrarily, when we personalize the issue, we are more likely to be protective, emotional, and reactive, which can result in faulty judgment, misunderstandings, and conflict. The following are some of the main arguments Sinek uses to support his thesis. The issue is not with people, it's only natural to look for someone to blame when anything goes wrong. Sinek, though, advises against falling into this trap. Instead, we should understand that the issue is not persons, it is the issue. Separating the issue from the person allows us to avoid placing blame and instead concentrate on finding a solution. Deal with the behavior, not the individual. If someone is acting in a way that is creating a problem, it is crucial to confront that behavior immediately. Things crucial to refrain from taking things personally, though. When communicating how someone's behavior is affecting you, Sinek advises utilizing I words instead of expressing, you are always late and it's driving me crazy. You may say, I feel frustrated when you are late because it affects our ability to get work done. You can encourage someone to improve their conduct without disparaging their character by framing the problem as a behavior rather than a character deficiency. Instead, he advises that we attempt to comprehend the reason behind someone's behavior. For instance, if someone keeps missing deadlines, they might be overworked, dealing with personal difficulties, or just not conscious of how their actions are impacting others. We can work together to discover a solution that takes care of the problem's primary source by comprehending their motivations. Don't assume anything. Assuming we understand why someone is doing a certain way might result in miscommunication and conflict. Sinek suggests avoiding preconceptions and instead attempting to comprehend the viewpoint of the other person. We can learn more about people's intentions and mental processes by posing open ended questions and paying close attention to their responses. Use a cooperative mindset. When we concentrate on the issue rather than the individual, we can work together to find a solution. Sinek contends that cooperating as a team is more efficient than placing blame or adopting a combative stance. We can develop fresh ideas, foster trust, and foster a sense of shared ownership over the issue by encouraging everyone to take part in finding a solution. In conclusion, Simon Sinek's idea of emphasizing the issue rather than the individual is a useful one. We can keep a positive and productive mindset that enables us to discover solutions. This strategy needs cooperation, empathy, and an open mind, yet it can produce better results for all parties. Every action or statement a person makes will begin to support the story or label we have formed about them. Before assuming that someone is the issue, leaders must take the time to learn about their potential issues. Separate a person's behavior or behaviors from their inherent worth as a human being. To put it in another way, simply because someone is having difficulty or making mistakes does not necessarily mean that they are a nasty or imperfect person. Everybody has difficulties and make mistakes in life, but it's crucial to keep these behavior apart from one's identity or moral character. When handling disputes or challenging circumstances, this viewpoint is very crucial. In contrast to judging and blaming, we might approach the situation with empathy and compassion by realizing that the issue is distinct from the person. As a result, everyone's outcomes may be improved and communication may become more positive and constructive. Applying this viewpoint to oneself and realizing that our flaws or failures don't determine who we are as people is equally crucial. We may develop more self-compassion and resilience and tackle our issues with better openness and learning by separating our acts from our identities. Hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching. For more videos, like these and please subscribe.